I think a lot of people get caught up in the story around Tesla being an EV company and the massive increase in sales of EVs, but they oftentimes miss some of the other innovations that are happening that are massively important in the deployment of clean energy. So as much as Tesla is a transportation company, clean transportation, it is also a clean energy company. And I think a lot of people don't put enough weight into the moves that Tesla has made recently to vastly increase the production of megapack storage. I consider myself a friendly activist. My goal is not to, harm Tesla, or I have any big issue with Tesla's management team. I think they've done an excellent job. My goal is really what is best for Tesla and what is also best for Elon in the management of this business. And obviously, Elon's even admitted it on Twitter. This whole Twitter purchase has been a huge distraction and a very costly venture for Tesla shareholders and everybody involved. And then on top of it, getting into politics has been extremely damaging to, I think, a lot of people's perception of Elon. And, I find that sad. So, I'm trying to help Elon and Tesla message better, communicate to the public better, have people rebuild their confidence in the management team and Elon and what they're trying to accomplish at Tesla. Because I think Twitter has become a big distraction from the overall goal of, advancing sustainable transportation and energy. And I know that's ultimately Elon's goal. So, I think sometimes I like to say, you have two types of friends, the ones who always say you're great, and then the ones who say, I love you, but there are certain things you're doing that are hurtful to everybody. And maybe you should consider these things. And that's really the role I feel I play. I know that Elon knows that I want best for him. And there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't see. And they listen. And Elon listens. And you can see it right now with the stock recovering. His Twitter behavior has changed over the last 30 days. He's become much less political. And I think that refocusing on the product of Twitter and the products and services of Tesla and SpaceX has really starting to help rebuild confidence in Tesla and Elon. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are not fans of Elon anymore that really should be. And that's the perception that I'm trying to help change or alter so that people understand, hey, Elon's not, a Trump supporter or a right winger. It's like the extremes that everything's reported on really exacerbates people's emotions.
So the most interesting part of this show, and perhaps the most interesting time I've ever been able to ask this question, is with you right now, Ross, which is what would make you upend your view on Tesla? And clearly, if Elon does more political tweeting, moves perceivably, farther in a certain political direction, doubles down, I assume that would in some part upend your view on Tesla. But I don't want to just focus on the Elon Twitter stuff. I want to get back into the other stuff. But I assume that if the behavior doesn't change on Twitter, it could upend your view?
Elon's a very smart man, and he, once again, that's why I brought it to his attention as much, of the good and the bad that you get from the people who are happy I've done it and the people who don't get it. But we've had this happen before. It's not like the first rodeo with Twitter, and he's in a case right now over funding secured. And Twitter can cause a lot of pain for people in their brand. But I think it's, I think he's a very smart man, and I think he's making the adjustments necessary. And I think we're seeing the recovery in the stock because of that. What would really upend my view is if something ever happened to Elon. Elon is still crucially important to the long-term success of Tesla. And that's really why I want him to refocus 100% on Tesla and sort of find a CEO for Twitter, because we're about to launch some of the biggest and most consequential products for Tesla, which is the Cybertruck and the semi-truck, as well as continued expansion of battery production and manufacturing facilities and gigafactories. So it's a crucially important time. So if anything ever happened to Elon, I think that we would have to reassess the stock because they haven't put in place a strong succession plan. And, that's one of the reasons I am running for the board, is I think there should be a very clear organizational chart. And I think it should be very clear if anything ever happened to Elon, what would happen with Tesla. And I think that would benefit shareholders greatly to have that clarity.
You've been through the Apple Steve Jobs experience.
Right.
And what else would make you upend your view on Tesla?
I mean, not much. I've been investing for 30 years as a professional, and I've rarely seen a company at this stage of growth and development with such a dominant position in their markets. And it's very similar to Apple, maybe, 15 years ago when they were really in the innovation cycle under Steve Jobs. It was really an exciting period of time for consumer products and technology under Apple and Steve. And Tim Cook was able to ride that for the last decade, successfully. Now, Apple has no innovation, really. So when you look at a company like Tesla and where they are in the development, it's really just the beginning in a lot of ways.
And what about competition to Tesla? What numbers would you have to see from competitors to make you upend your view on Tesla?
Well, I drive cars, so I drive all the competitors' cars. I love cars. And I just got in my Model S Plaid this morning and put it on full self-driving, and it drove me down PCH to work here so I wouldn't be late. And I was sitting here thinking, this is the most dominant car ever built. It's like, I'm sorry, Mercedes, you can charge me $175,000 for, this EQE thing. And I've got to get an EQE because I don't want to insult it too much. And then sure enough, because I've been making fun of Waymo cars, today, of all days, I saw 2 Waymo cars on the way to work. So I'm sitting here going, are these cars driving themselves or not? Because it's real hard, my drive to work. And sure enough, they had 2 people driving the cars. And I'm like, the Waymos aren't even driving themselves. The people are driving the Waymos around and trying to teach the car to learn by just driving the car around. But when you look at the hardware and the software of competitors like Waymo, and you look at the actual vehicles that are being built today, Tesla has, a 5 to 10 year advantage over its competitors.
We hope you enjoyed the video. At Real Vision, we help you understand the complex world of finance, business, and the global economy with in-depth analysis from real experts. Join the revolution at realvision.com.